Okay, so since July 1st, when I arrived here at Passaic Valley, we've assembled a school leadership team. And really the focus of this team is to really center in on educational trends within the school and the community. And this team is comprised of some of our lead teachers, our administrators, counselors, and support staff. And we're really looking at horizontal and vertical articulation while analyzing our students' deficiencies and sort of highlighting some of their strengths. In that time, we've also hired a new vice principal. We did lose one administrator over the summer. We hired Ms. Krista Voris, who's on this call right now, and she's been primarily tasked with overseeing our curriculum instruction, improving our programs, while also implementing high levels of support for our staff and professional development. As mentioned, we've also created lead teacher positions where we identified some of our experts in each discipline to really focus in on supporting our students and increasing student achievement. We have secured funding, which is incredible news for us, for a technology plan and a one-to-one rollout of Chromebooks, hopefully by the end of this month. If not, we're rolling into February. We're sort of dealing with some, of course, delays because of COVID and all the stuff that comes along with those issues. But we are excited for that, finally getting laptops in the hand of our students and going fully one-to-one. We hosted 2 paint nights this school year where we had over 120 staff members and students actually came in and painted our hallways. We sort of changed some of the color schemes. At Pivay, for some of you that are on this call, you may have graduated here. You probably remember where 80% of the wall was a dark green color. It was just in the hallways. It wasn't exactly appealing walking down the hallways to be staring at the dark green, the forest green. So what we did is we just sort of flipped the color schemes where we have more white colors that we've added, and we've taken a green stripe and going down the hallways. If you go on to Instagram or Twitter, you can certainly see all the accomplishments that the teams successfully achieved during those paint nights. The hallways look great. A lot of students and staff are commenting that it's just brighter and it's a more vibrant area for us to be walking down, and it sort of gets you in the mood and it becomes more conducive to learning as you walk through the hallways headed to class. We renovated the Grizz Gymnasium, and we also finalized a new turf field project, which will be completed by this spring, which comes with lights. So we're excited for that. I think what also people forget is not only obviously is it a great upgrade for our athletic teams, but all of our phys ed classes utilize the turf field, or will be utilizing this turf field. So here at PV, when we used to get rain, the field would be wet for days, if not weeks on end. So the new turf field is going to be a great facility for all of our students at PV, not just our athletes, to enjoy. We instituted open campus lunch for our seniors. Some of you may remember back in the day, I think it's actually late in the 70s, where seniors were allowed to leave the campus and go to the bagel shop or go to some of the local establishments. We have reinstituted that with rave reviews. We've had 0 issues so far with students complying. They leave, they come back on time. It's been a great experience, and it's sort of giving our seniors something to look forward to and a little more freedom. Also important to note that all these changes have created a positive environment, where I'm also happy to report over the last 3 months, we have only seen 2 suspensions at Passaic Valley, which is drastically decreasing by the day, which is great to see. Students are staying in school, they're making good choices, achievements going up, and we have a lot of good positive vibes here at Passaic Valley so far. So I did want to just give a shout out to all those that attended tonight. Thank you for the great work, Territories, Joe Benvenuti, Krista Voris. I know we have Chris Clemente, our tech support on here, and I just wanted to give a special shout out to them for all the efforts that they've put forth so far this school year to make it an enjoyable year. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haley. Any questions as we go along, just type them in the chat box and we'll address them at the end. Okay, first, to get started, we're going to have a short video clip. This is kind of a promo video that was developed a few years ago for Passaic Valley. We do have a new one coming out in just a few more days that we'll send to all of the students at the lower levels. But here's something for everyone. It's coming.
Passaic Valley High School, there's something for everyone.
Okay. The focus of Passaic Valley is to provide students with the best education possible. We aim to do this in a way that is relevant, engaging, student-centered, and innovative in its approach. Passaic Valley's vision requires not only respect for individuality of students and staff, but also a sustained effort to work towards achievement of universal goals. PV's dedicated staff provides each student with the tools necessary to lead productive lives in today's ever-changing society. It is the school's responsibility to nurture and guide students to be the best they can be. With approximately 1,025 students, the enrollment size of Passaic Valley High School allows for students to receive the proper attention they deserve in a safe learning environment. Passaic Valley offers a personalized approach to post-secondary college and career readiness, encouraging all students to enroll in a wide range of challenging courses in preparation for their next steps in life. With many exciting elective courses, numerous co-curricular and extracurricular activities, advanced placement courses, dual enrollment opportunities, and career certification pathways, Passaic Valley is exemplary in its attention to the development of the whole child. As with most opportunities, there's a dimension of responsibility. Students are responsible for knowing the information provided in this program of studies and communicating frequently with their school counselor, teachers, and parents. Students should have received the program of studies in school this week. If they have not received it already, it'll be coming home in the next day or two. For most students, high school represents the beginning of taking ownership over educational options and the development of independent thinking. In addition to graduation requirements, there are many options to select courses that match area of interest. As you saw in our video earlier, Passaic Valley is defined by pride and tradition. The teachers, the administrators, students, and parents work tirelessly to promote the school, what it has to offer, and its accomplishments. We look forward to hearing from interested parents, students, and community members, and encourage all to contact the school by phone or email with any questions or concerns. The transition from middle to high school is one of the most vulnerable times in development. This is one of the most potentially stressful times in children's lives, as students' performance in 9th grade has been shown to predict both their likelihood of dropping out of high school as well as their likelihood of attending college. While your child will have participated in previous academic transitions, such as the transition from elementary to middle school, there are several factors that make the transition from middle to high school more challenging. First, the transition to high school represents an increase in academic demands. In other words, courses are more challenging in high school than they were in middle school. Second, students have more responsibility as they have to proactively ask for help and clarification from their teachers. This is due to the structure of most high schools in which students have individual schedules, as opposed to middle school, where it is more likely that a group of students will have a team of teachers. This means that a child's teachers are not directly connected to each other, so may not notice the academic or social difficulty a child is facing across their courses or the school environment as a whole. Third, beyond the academic transition, there's also a social transition as students are entering a place with an existing social structure that they have to navigate. Finally, students in this transition are also in the middle of the transition to adolescence. This time period represents a key time in adolescent brain development, and as a result of these changes, the social world around the adolescent becomes more important to them. So your children are making a social transition at a crucial time in their development when peer acceptance is becoming incredibly important. Basically, a child transitioning to high school is facing the challenge of increased academic expectations coupled with trying to find their place socially all at the same time. While this transition can seem daunting, Passaic Valley has programs in place to assist your children through this transition. Our student parent portal is equipped to keep families updated on attendance, discipline, and academic progress. Students will be on the process of learning how to meet academic demands, so extra help with our experienced staff is key. Students can also opt to utilize our various tutoring programs or visit the Writing Center. Pivay's Teen Center and Student Services staff understand that students are likely to be stressed as they make this transition. We have 5 counselors on staff, a student assistance counselor, a school-based mental health clinician, and 3 members of our child study team. They stand ready to assist by offering resources, student programs, or even just an ear to listen. Our peer mentoring program also helps normalize these feelings and puts students at ease. Forming relationships with upperclassmen and hearing the student perspective can alleviate concerns and make students feel more connected to their environment. Focuses include learning time, management skills, study skills, getting involved in school, and communicating with teachers, and developing healthy relationships.
Tara, I'm just going to add something.
Sure.
What I can say to the parents that are on the call tonight is, maybe some of you don't know, but my prior position was a principal of a middle school in Clifton, where we had close to 1,400 students. So similar sized to PV. PV's a little less in enrollment. But I want to congratulate you for those that are just getting their child through middle school for the first time. Middle school is by far the 3 toughest years that any student will go to and will go through. So here at Passaic Valley, I'm proud to say we have a huge support staff, which Ms. Torres just mentioned about counseling. We have a very low student to teacher ratio, or around 10 students per teacher, which is great because you're going to get the support they need. As you walk the hallways and you go into classes, we have classes as low as 5 or 6 students in a class, whether it's an AP class, an honor class, regular class. We have many different levels to reach all students. And I'd say that's the best thing that I've seen as a middle school principal coming to PV, is the level of support is phenomenal here. From the counseling staff to the teachers to our special education department, you will get all the support you need with your child to make sure that they're successful here. And that's probably one of the biggest takeaways that I've seen in my first 6 months here at PV. Thanks, Tara.
Thank you. Many people don't realize how much of an impact middle school has on high school and beyond. Although students can continue to learn valuable skills as they proceed through life, the foundation laid in middle school sets forth their future path. New Jersey requires 120 credits for graduation, covering 10 areas of instruction. Passaic Valley strictly adheres to these standards and does not mandate additional requirements for graduation. All New Jersey public schools also require all students to pass a testing requirement such as the NJSLA or Garden State Proficiency Assessment. That's been changing by the years, but they have some new requirements out for the classes up through 2025 right now. So 2026 is still pending, but I'm sure there'll be something in place. Our 2022-23 program of studies promotes a supportive learning environment where every student is challenged, inspired, and empowered to cultivate the intellectual curiosity, skills, and knowledge needed to excel at college or in one's career. In order for students to gain the most from their high school educational experience, we urge careful course planning that involves the student, his or her parents, teachers, and the school counselor. This collaboration will result in a comprehensive educational program that is adapted to individual needs as well as state and local graduation requirements. Passaic Valley has dual enrollment agreements with 6 colleges and universities. Dual enrollment opportunities enhance college applications and allow students to save money and get ahead by completing a general education requirement while still in high school. Due to a key partnership with Passaic County Community College, we are able to offer an expanding menu of dual enrollment opportunities, some at no cost to the student or district. For 2022-23, there are 17 approved dual enrollment courses covering multiple academic areas. Students enrolled in eligible courses will receive information at the start of the course regarding participation in dual enrollment and instructions to register if needed. These are the 17 courses if you want to take a look at them before I change slides. Like I said, there are a mix of our electives as well as our academic course offerings. They're also a mix of levels, so not all of them are honors courses. Some of them are college prep level, so that way we are more inclusive for many students to be able to graduate with college credit while still in high school. In June of 2020, Passaic Valley graduated its first class of students in the Certified Patient Care Technician program. This 124-hour hands-on program trained them for entry-level careers in patient care technician, hospital caregiver, emergency department technician, patient advocate, burn technician, ECG monitoring technician, and rehabilitation center technicians. We are proud to announce that 100% of last year's graduates have received employment in the field, many now receiving aid toward their college tuition through these placements. So we're running our next group will be starting in February of this year. We have about 7 students who will be doing the program with us for our third go around. At Passaic Valley, students may explore careers through comprehensive career and technical education programs. In a CTE program, students advance their skills through hands-on collaborative projects in a sequence of courses. Students also have an opportunity to apply those skills in real-world environments through structured learning experiences, such as internships. In Pivay's CTE programs, students may earn college credit through its dual enrollment programs, as well as industry certification. Passaic Valley has established successful partnerships with universities to support its career and technical education program. Our 2 current programs are in broadcasting and STEM with a focus on mechanical drafting and engineering. Our broadcasting program partners with Bergen County Community College, and our STEM program is with Passaic Community College. Regardless of level, all of Passaic Valley's courses follow the content-specific New Jersey student learning standards, next generation science standards, and core curriculum content standards. Teachers recommend students for the appropriate academic level based on available data such as classroom performance, attendance, and level of interest. I'll talk a little bit more about the process for the 8th graders in terms of their placement testing as we approach the end of the presentation. Over the past few years, Passaic Valley has worked to expand our academic elective offerings in both STEM and humanities. We are constantly surveying our students to make sure the courses offered are relevant to today's world and the goals of our students. For the freshmen this coming year, our newest course will be AP World History. So students will be able to not only take either an essentials level, college prep level, honors level, but also an AP level world history course and get started with the AP in their freshman year, which is unique to Passaic Valley. Not many schools can say they do that. As mentioned earlier, students need to successfully complete 5 credits of the 21st century and career courses. At Passaic Valley, this requirement can be met by taking courses in our broadcasting program, our business program. Students can also opt for computer science or technology-infused courses, culinary or engineering. Lastly, students can participate in school-sponsored structured learning experience such as internships, work experience, and shared time programming. Hopefully back for next year, we have our Hornet Helping Hands program where we go into the lower level schools. We are at the elementary school in Little Falls, working with kindergarten, and we're also at the elementary school in Woodland Park, working with grades 3 through 5. And we're expanding into Totowa as well for pre-K. There's our computer science and technology courses and our 2 levels of culinary. Within computer science and technology, there's all different levels of courses, ranging from a more basic introductory course like STEM explorations up through AP computer science principles and computer science A. We also have a shared time program with Hohokus School of Trades and Technical Science that some of our students will go to in the afternoon, and they will do an exploratory program on the different trades to see if there's something that they want to focus on at the post-secondary level. In addition to the 21st century learning requirement, all students in New Jersey need to successfully complete 5 credits of a visual and performing art for graduation. All of our courses in this area have recently been updated. Registration packets have been given to all students in the sending districts. These packets include the 2022-23 Program of Studies booklet, a scheduling worksheet, registration form, transportation form, and health card. Completed paperwork will be submitted to your home district. All students will take a placement test in February for academic course placement. Passaic Valley counselors will then review the available middle school data as well as recommendations and placement results, and will put together a tentative schedule for each student. Provided everything with COVID gets a little bit better, we are aiming to be into the schools in late March to review the placement and have individual meetings with all students and parents to go over elective choices and course placement. As I stated earlier, our vision is to prepare all students to meet the challenges of post-secondary life with grace and confidence. Upon graduation, our students take various pathways to reach their goals. We are proud to report on average 88% choose to further their education in post-secondary programs such as college, university, or career training. No matter what direction your child chooses, Passaic Valley is here to support them. I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Benvenuti for a moment, who will cover what he likes to refer to as the fun part of Passaic Valley. Mr. Benvenuti.
All right. Good evening. Thank you, Mrs. Torres. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. For myself, this is really unique and very exciting. I'm a very prideful Hornet graduate of 1996 here from Passaic Valley High School. And tonight I'm also in a dual capacity as an administrator here at Passaic Valley High School and also as a parent. My son is an 8th grader in Little Falls, and he will be attending Passaic Valley High School next year. So very exciting time for me and my family, and especially for my son. With that being said, I do see a lot of names on here, and I am very familiar with a lot of people in our communities that will be sending their child here and have also attended Passaic Valley before them, like myself. And I can assure you, and I say this all the time, and never more this year does it matter more and really hit home with the truth, is that our school is safer than when you and I went to school here. We have security officers in our building, as you know, basically around the clock. Whenever there are students in the building, we have security officers. It is cleaner than when we went to school here, and it is more challenging academically than when we went to school here. And I can assure you, with the help of Mr. Healy and all of his great initiatives and things that he's been, bringing towards modern times, that we have better facilities, better technology, and better course offerings than we've ever had before. So really exciting time for our children that are coming through and coming up into Passaic Valley High School. So I'm excited for them, and I'm excited for all of us as parents as well. As the video stated earlier, there is something here for everyone. We truly believe that. We get behind that, and we encourage our students from day one to make sure that they take full advantage of what we have to offer here. There are 30 different clubs to offer and to choose from. We have 20 or more sporting teams that we have, both on the male and female side. Our sports teams have done very well. Our clubs have done very well. Obviously, we have cheering, marching band, girl show, which everybody obviously is a huge fan of and very familiar with. The tradition and all that goes along with girl show. Some of our sports teams last year really had tremendous seasons. We've had last year alone, we had 8 different championships in different teams with our league and our county. So we were really proud of the effort that we had last year, and we're off to a great start this year. Our volleyball team made it all the way to the sectional finals, and our sports teams right now in the winter are doing really well. Girls basketball, boys basketball, and wrestling are all enjoying winning seasons so far. Our track program has made huge strides, and they were also champions last year and off to another great start this year through our cross-country program, winter track, and hopefully spring coming up. So a lot of different things to choose from. We really encourage our students to get involved and build upon those skills that are necessary for the next step in life, whether it be college or the workforce. You can learn valuable skills like teamwork, leadership, and really just being a part of a greater good with hard work and determination. So, we really try not to have our students walk in the building at 8:04 and leave at 2:30. Studies have shown that children that are more involved are going to do better academically. As they say, with idle time, obviously, we don't want that. And we do not want to see our students have idle time. We're appreciative and love when they get involved and really, add to everything that we have here at Passaic Valley High School. When we meet with our students, and we will soon, and we've done that already earlier in the year with Zooms and things of that nature. When we try to, I'll say, recruit our own students here in the community, we often tell them that it's, Passaic Valley High School is your close-knit family atmosphere. It's the, going to school with the students that you've known, the friends that you've been friends with your entire life. It's that backyard neighborhood community school that you just don't get everywhere else. I will also tell the students when I meet with them that nobody celebrates a winner and nobody celebrates success like Passaic Valley High School. I was fortunate enough to be a part of some of those teams and some of those different clubs and programs that had success when I was in high school. And that made my experience here all the more fun. It's a community, as we all know, that gets behind Passaic Valley, gets behind our student athletes, our students that are heavily involved. And that's really why we want to, encourage our students, and hopefully you can do the same for your children, push them to get involved with the many different things that we offer here at Passaic Valley High School. To close, as the video had stated, there is something here for everyone. We truly believe that. It is a close-knit fabric of Passaic Valley High School that makes us unique. It is that family atmosphere, the tradition. Many of you attended Passaic Valley High School. There's generations that attend Passaic Valley High School. And again, that's not everywhere that happens. So we like to say that this is a unique place where the smaller family atmosphere and the fabric of the green and the white is something that becomes very contagious and really adds to the success and the fun that hopefully your children will have, like I've had and others before me have had here at Passaic Valley High School. As we try to tell our students, stay home, swarm up, and win here at Passaic Valley High School. It can happen at PV, and it already is happening at PV. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via email or my phone, which you can find on the website. I'll be happy to answer any questions related to academics, athletics, and our activities program here at Passaic Valley High School. Thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Thanks, Joe.
Tara, the only thing I'm going to add to, and thank you, Mr. Benvenuti, is just to highlight, this is an incredible statistic, but over 90% of our students are involved in either an after-school program, an activity, a club, or an athletic team. So when you think about 1,025 students here at PV, over 900 of them stay after school and participate in some type of club. Those that attended PV know that this is really a 24/7 school. It's pretty much open all the time to the community with our track. And even inside the school, we open up close to 6 a.m. And tonight we probably won't be out here until about 10 p.m., whether it's with sports, academic clubs, or whatever programs we have going on here at PV. So, I just thought it was important to note that the school environment here was very contagious because of the fact that we get so many students that are involved in things other than just your typical 8 to 3, and then they leave the school. So everyone's invested. A couple other things I want to also note too is over the course of this school year, since September, we've actually gained 35 students. whether they've come back from PCTI, whether they've come back from private schools. It's encouraging to see. So it seems like the things that we're doing are working. We have a lot of positive initiatives, whether it was the technology, upgrading the facilities, bringing in new instructional programs. So far, we seem to be trending in the right direction. We're always available. You can email me, you can email anyone on the administration, and you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get a result or a response that school day. We very much are here to serve the community, to serve our students. And for me, I consider myself a servant leader. I really am here to just support the entire community, not only our staff, but really our students. And when they come through our doors, we want them to get the best experience possible. And of course, we appreciate you entrusting us in making sure that your students are living up to their potentials, and so that we're setting them up for a successful future.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to open it up for questions now. Ms. Voorhees, if you want to read some of the questions in the chat, we'll do our best to answer.
Sure. First, hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for your attendance tonight. Just to reiterate a little bit of what Mr. Benvenuti had said, when I introduce myself, I generally open up with the line that I too am a Hornet that has come home. So Hornet born and bred here, happy to be back serving our community. And I'm encouraged to see all of you this evening. So I'm going to turn to the chat. I will read the questions that have landed in our chat so far. I'll scroll through. There have been a couple that have already been addressed, so I will kind of breeze past those. But if you do have questions, continue to type them right in the chat box, and I'll moderate until we are at a point where we've touched on just about everything. All right, so our first question, Ms. Torres or Mr. Healy, there's a question about taking on certifications. I believe this was in reference to some of our careers pathways and special certifications in CTE programming. So in what years can students begin to take those certifications?
So the one specific patient care technician program is done in the senior year, but the other programs, the CTE programs, start with their sophomore year, and they can do dual enrollment courses in their sophomore, junior, and senior year, and they'll get that certification after all 3 courses have been completed in their senior year.
Excellent. There was a question about obtaining a copy of the slideshow. As Mr. Healy had stated, we're going to post our presentation this evening to our Passaic Valley YouTube channel, which you can access by clicking through our website or giving us a quick search on YouTube. We will also make a copy of the slideshow available to our parents in our sending districts. Question, how can I get a registration packet? Ms. Torres?
If you have not received a registration packet from the lower level, if you are a student at our 3 sending districts, just wait a couple more days. You should have it by Friday. If you don't, or if you are a student coming from a Catholic school or another school in the surrounding area, just email or call the guidance office, and we'll be happy to prepare one for you and get it out to you as soon as possible.
Excellent, thank you. Is there soccer? Yes, Mr. Healy enthusiastically stated, yes, we do offer soccer, and we do offer soccer for both our boys and our girls, 2 very successful teams. Regarding the registration package, while we're on that note, what is the deadline for returning the registration package?
Each packet has a cover letter from their individual sending district, which has a deadline and instructions on how to return to that specific school. So it differs depending on which hometown you are from. If you are a student coming from a Catholic school or an outside school, then we ask the packet come back by March 1st.
Excellent, thank you. Ms. Torres, Mr. Healy, Mr. Benvenuti, anyone jump in here? Spend a few minutes maybe touching on our special education programming.
Sure, so there is a whole section of our program of studies books that goes over the special education program and the highlights of it all. So we have several different levels of special education courses. We have our ABA program downstairs through Bergen. That's our autistic program. We have about 45 students in that program tuition paying students included. And then we have our MD Mild program. That program has roughly 5 to 10 students, depending on the subject matter, that take our MD Mild courses. And then from there, we go into the world where we start mixing with the Gen Ed population, and we have our adaptive courses, which have 16 students to a class, as well as a special education teacher, and the class is taught by a general education subject certified, content certified teacher. And then we have in-class resource, which is our essentials level courses, which is a co-taught class by a special education class and a core content curriculum based teacher.
I'd say I'd also like to add, we do have a full-time special ed director here at Passaic Valley Regional High School, as well as a full-time well-versed child study team. So each student that requires the services, we do have loads of support services available for them to make sure that they get what they need to be successful.
Great, thank you. Ms. Torres, which universities participate in our dual enrollment program?
So the bulk of our dual enrollment courses are through Fairleigh Dickinson University. That's where most of our academic courses are. Then we also partner with dual enrollment through Passaic Community College, Berkeley College, Bergen Community College, as well as we said FDU is the main one.
Great, thank you. Is there transportation for after-school programs? Mr. Benvenuti, perhaps you want to touch on that?
Yeah, we do not offer any kind of late bus or that scenario. Obviously, for sports teams that are traveling for games or such, we offer transportation for that, but we do not have a late bus in the afternoon in case you were playing a sport or joining an activity and then needing a ride afterwards.
I will say, I'm just going to add on to that. We are actually looking into purchasing a couple buses. So that is something that that's a good question by that person. That is something we are currently looking at, and hopefully we can offer that. As Mr. Benvenuti said, we don't do that right now, but if we can purchase some buses and we have the personnel, that is something that we could potentially offer in the future.
Great, thank you all. Ms. Torres, regarding business.
Torres, I just want to jump back to the dual enrollment question. We also have a couple of programs. They're individual courses through Montclair State University, and Kane University does our Holocaust class as well. So those are individual courses that run each year, not a bulk of courses. But Montclair State University, we are actually their only dual enrollment partner. And then Kane University has been an ongoing relationship.
Great, thank you. Regarding business courses, Ms. Torres, where in the program planning guide might we find our business courses listed?
They're under career and technical education. They're in the first section of the booklet.
Great. Thank you. All right, I imagine this is a potential Hornet or a future Hornet. Would a student be able to participate in both band and soccer?
Yes, we do. We do have students that participate in athletics and the band. Obviously, it's a little challenging in terms of time commitment, and when you might have the same activity or both activities at the same time. But it's something that we have worked out in the past with coaching and the advisor, our band director, Mr. DeLucia. So it has been done in the past. It obviously is not easy, but it's something that we generally don't say a hard no to. It's worked out between the coaches and obviously the student as well.
Great, thank you, Mr. Benvenuti. All right, a world languages question, Ms. Torres. Will all students be placed in a level 1 language course? Is Spanish 4 or Italian or French? Is level 4 the highest level that we offer?
We do have a 5th level, our AP level, in both Italian and in Spanish. Most students start in level 1 language. There are some students that are native speakers that start in level 2, or some students from Little Falls who have a full year of Spanish at the middle school level. Some of them are eligible to start in level 2, but that doesn't mean just because Totowa or Woodland Park doesn't have that, that doesn't mean that they're not going to get to that AP level. We constantly assess the students as we go along, and a lot of them will either skip level 4 and go right to AP, or skip one of the earlier levels based on the teacher recommendation.
One more time, just as a reminder, Ms. Torres, when is the registration packet due?
For Catholic school students and outside students, it's due by March 1st to the guidance office at Passaic Valley. For students in our sending districts, your sending districts have set their own due dates, and it should be in the packet that you will have received or will receive from your school this week.
Excellent, thank you. Is there a business course that freshmen are eligible to participate in?
Most of our freshmen take the financial literacy course that is required for graduation. That is like an entry level into the business program. Some of our students will also take an entrepreneurship or marketing class.
Excellent. There was a question asked and answered in chat, and just very quickly, I'm going to review it. The question was asked about teacher to student ratio and classroom ratios, and Mr. Healy was kind enough to respond for us. We have a really excellent teacher to student ratio. We're at about a 10 to 1 teacher to student, student to teacher ratio. So for every 10 students, we have 1 teacher. We do have relatively small class sizes while still maintaining a really wide selection of choices for our students. Our average class size hovers around about where, Ms. Torres?
About 20.
About 20. Excellent.
I would just say, like to add on to that, someone had asked a good question about how's the school ranked from a safety standpoint. And, obviously, as Ms. Voorhees, I believe, had mentioned, or even Mr. Benvenuti, we have 3 armed retired police officers on at all times here at Passaic Valley. I know some people may get nervous with that. But we also have a fine balance of counselors too, right? So sometimes schools have either a lot of armed guards and less counselors, or more counselors and less armed guards. But here at PV, we sort of put an emphasis on student safety and a therapeutic approach. So these armed guards are not here for the Passaic Valley students, right? They're here to protect the staff and the students of Passaic Valley. That is really the extent of the purpose they serve here. Thankfully, like I mentioned, over the past 3 months, we've only seen 2 suspensions, which is really, really good to see, to be honest with you. We're heading in the right direction with student safety, student conduct. Students are making better choices. We feel that it's being brought about by a lot of the changes that we've made here in the past 6 months at Passaic Valley. The staff is happy. They're excited to be here. We've had great attendance from students and staff. So looking at the numbers compared to just before pre-pandemic, we're in a great spot, and it just seems like it's been a great experience all around, whether it's your administrator here, a student here, and or a staff member here. And I would just also encourage anyone on this call, if you know anyone that has a child here at the school, or if you currently have a child here at the school, I think, speaking from a student standpoint, from what we've heard in some of our superintendent ambassadors committee, where we actually meet with the students monthly, is we're getting a lot of positive feedback, whether it's social media presence, or just the kids' vibes around school, whether it's the paint on the walls, how the students are behaving, the teachers bringing the energy, and the students are learning. So it's been a really great start to the year. And I know we're still in the pandemic, which could be tough for most school districts, but we've gotten through it. We've stayed open, we've stayed safe, and it's been a great experience so far.
Thanks, Mr. Healy. Ms. Torres, when can we expect class schedules to be finalized?
For the incoming freshmen, we are going to be aiming to meet with everybody by the end of March. And then you will get a copy of what you have officially been scheduled for by the end of the school year. Usually the end of June, I send home in the mail. Somewhere between the second and third week of June, you will get just a notice that will dictate all of the courses you have officially been scheduled for, in case you want to make any changes to that over the summer.
Thank you. Can you only choose one language for all 2 or 4 years, or can you change languages once a year?
You need to complete, well, For graduation purposes, you only need 1 year of a world language. For college purposes, they're going to want to see that you stick to the same language 2 or more years, the average being 2 to 3 years. But you can feel free, if language is something that you're really interested in, to start another language when you have a little more opening in your schedule, junior or senior year. We do have students who take multiple languages.
Great, thank you. Our next question, Ms. Torres, I'll let you respond, and then if you need to tag me and you let me know, what type of diversity and inclusion classes are being taught in the curriculum at Pivay?
Sure. So one of the new classes we have next year is Latin American Studies. That is run by Mr. Colon, will be teaching that for us. He's very excited to bring that curriculum. We also have a Gender Studies and Pop Culture class within the English curriculum that was new this past year and going really well. Along with our pop culture theme, we have the cinema and film class, which covers a lot of historic movies and books and comparing the differences in the curriculum. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, and I'll also add that we are working on a long-term plan for curricular revisions in which each of our courses offered, building wide, will include diversity and inclusion topics. So we're going to be touching on marginalized populations or historically underrepresented populations. We're going to be looking at people's accomplishments and additions to important movements globally. So this is definitely a direction we're moving in, making sure that we are representing our students in the works that we're studying and in how we approach curriculum in every one of our core content areas and elective areas.
I could also add, it's not so much in the classroom piece, but we do have various clubs that touch on this topic with our Multicultural Club. We also run student voice projects yearly here at Passaic Valley High School, where we're taking polls and thoughts and ideas from our student population. And the main focus was last year was on that exact topic, where we took in considerations and ideas from our student population and focused on various changes within our cafeteria, our school calendar, and much more. So it's definitely something that we're in tune with and something that we've already addressed and will continue to work with for sure.
Thank you. Again, back to the student to teacher ratio. Is the 10-to-1 ratio true for algebra and other math classes? And I think when we're addressing a 10-to-1 ratio, we're talking building wide. So certainly in some math classes, we do in fact have a 10-to-1 ratio where there are 2 instructors in the classroom, 2 certified teachers in a classroom working with our students. That is not true across the board, but again, our numbers building wide are historically below state average, well below state average in terms of seats filled. And I think hovering around 20 is really a beautiful number for making sure that we reach all of our students.
And knowing Algebra 1 is the core of the math curriculum, our largest Algebra 1 class is actually 18 students this year.
Excellent.
I think even to piggyback off of that is all the support that we have during the school day. So we have a writing lab, we have a math lab, we have peer tutoring. So all of this really free support, where I know parents often spend a lot of money to pay for tutors after school hours. But it's pretty cool to see when you're walking through either the math lab or the writing lab during a lunch period, and you see 3 or 4 of our PV students that are helping 3 or 4 other students, and that these spaces are actually being utilized. Because I know across the board that's not always the case. You go into a high school and you have all these programs available, and the room is always empty. So I think it's pretty cool here to see that students are working together. They're enjoying. It's free support, whether it's during lunch or after school hours, which we've seen so far a steady growth in student achievement.
Thank you.
School day starts at 8:04 and ends at 2:30.
Excellent. Is there an AP French class, Ms. Torres?
There is not an AP French class at this point in time, just because our program is not large enough. We only have 1 French teacher at this time, and she is full in her schedule with all the other levels. So we don't have room to expand. If we do expand in the future, it is something that we'll look to add in.
Excellent, thank you. Thinking about our special needs students, are there different levels for MD mild courses, et cetera? What are the levels for special needs courses? MD, mild, et cetera.
So for our special ed courses, we have the ABA level, we have the MD mild in all 4 core subjects. We have the adaptive level, the essentials level, and then college prep and beyond.
Thank you. A future Hornet asks, do I have to take a language?
You have to take 1 year of a world language to graduate from high school, but if you're planning on going to a 4-year college, you definitely need 2 or more to be eligible for the 4-year college.
Excellent, thank you. Future Hornet Luis asks, will there be a study group? And Luis, I think Mr. Healy had already addressed that. We talked about some of our peer-to-peer tutoring opportunities, our writing lab, some of our math support groups, our honor societies that help to work with our students, our teen center. There are a number of different opportunities, Luis, for students to work together in a study group here inside the building, and all free of charge for our students.
I would also actually add, which is a huge bonus, I think, for Passaic Valley, especially the students, is while our day ends at 2:30 p.m., the staff remains on campus until 3:05. And that 35 minutes is remedial time where any of our students can talk to a teacher, go get extra help, and contractually the teachers are there, and they actually, contractually or not, they enjoy staying. And quite often when I'm walking out at 4:05, 4:10, 4:15 and passing classrooms, we see students still working with the teachers. So I think that's a big bonus. Not a lot of schools offer that, but we do have that 35 minutes where students can go to a teacher after school and work with them one-on-one.
Thank you. Ms. Torres, how many classes can a student take? Let's think about in a 1-year potential freshman schedule. How many classes can a student take?
So there's 8 periods in a school day. So students typically take 1 lunch. So they're taking 7 full year classes, or they'll take 8 classes if their elective's a half year class. Some students go above and beyond and add in a 0 period. So some students will take the maximum amount, which would be 9.
Thank you. Start and end time, Mr. Healy, I believe already addressed that. Our homeroom begins at 8:04 a.m. We dismiss at 2:30 p.m. But we invite you to stay as late as you like with all of our clubs and activities and athletics.
Ms. Torres, you want to
yes.
just talk about how the counselors are assigned? I don't know. Did you see that
Yes.
question, Ms. Torres?
Yep. Yes, thank you. How are our counselors assigned, Ms. Torres?
Our counselors are assigned alphabetically. So we have a different breakdown. Where the breakdown falls depends on the number of students in the class. On average, we roughly break down A through C, D through F, G through L, M through R, and S through Z is roughly the breakdown.
Great, thank you. Yes, this meeting again is recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. So you please visit our YouTube in order to access a copy of tonight's meeting.
Ms. Torres, I think also part of the question was how are the students engaged? I'm sorry, how are the counselors engaged with the students? And we talked about, meeting with them, checking in. Do you want to just sort of walk through that process, how they're meeting with each other and setting goals?
Sure. So our counselors begin meeting with the students in the first 2 weeks of school. They call on every student individually, and they take a little survey, get to know the students. A lot of students have siblings that were there in the past, so they already are familiar with the families. Because that's the one nice thing about the alphabetical breakdown is you get to see the students in the families throughout the years. So the counselors will start their individual meetings right in the beginning of the school year. And then we'll be checking in throughout the school year. We have the monthly peer mentoring, which is run by the guidance staff as well, where they'll be split up into small groups and have the upperclassmen meeting with them on various topics and giving them the student perspective throughout the school year. And then at the very least, all counselors see their students once per marking period, just to check in, see how everything's going, offer any support and advice if needed. And then they already start their scheduling right now. We're starting just like we are here with the scheduling for the following school year and coaching them and preparing them for college.
Great. Thank you. And just in the interest of time, Mr. Healy has kindly gone through our chat as we've been talking here and has responded in chat form. So if you don't hear your question answered live via Ms. Torres and myself moderating, please scroll back through the chat because there's a good chance that Mr. Healy has gone ahead and responded personally to your question. Ms. Torres, if you have multiple children in the high school, will they all have the same counselor?
Most of the time the answer is yes. You can request if by chance the breakdown doesn't match up quite the same way it is the year before, and your kids end up with 2 different counselors, you can request for them to have the same counselor, and we will honor that.
Great. Ms. Torres, do we offer American Sign Language here?
We ran American Sign Language this year through Virtual High School. We're not sure if that's going to be something that we're continuing in the future, but that would be something that students take junior and senior year, where they take courses online virtually. We don't have it as one of our scheduled courses.
Okay. Can you describe to us, Ms. Torres, when placement testing will begin?
Placement testing will be during the month of February. Each district is currently in the process of working with Dr. Christopher, our assistant principal, in scheduling those tests. They'll be offered in the 4 core subject areas.
And more information will be coming to our future Hornets via their middle school, correct?
Their middle school counselor, correct.
Excellent. Thank you. How are our special needs students assigned their level, Ms. Torres?
So it's a combination of teacher recommendation and child study team meetings. So you'll have your child study team meetings prior to us making their course schedule, where you'll meet and you'll talk about, your recommendations and how the student's doing, a review of everything. They'll put that together with the placement results and make a multifaceted approach to what course level they're placed in.
Excellent. And I think I've touched on just about every question. Are there any students available for private tutoring? Again, we would encourage our students to take advantage of our small group tutoring options here in the building. Should you choose to explore options outside of the building, that of course is up to you. We do not arrange for private tutoring outside of the building for our students. The tutoring that we do support is all within the school day and within the school, or around the school day and within the building. Ms. Torres, one more time, how many years of math are required for graduation?
For graduation, 3 years of math.
Excellent.
I will say most of our students do take 4, and our seniors who come back from the college level and meet with us on alumni days all say that it was beneficial for them to take that 4th year of math and keep that going, but 3 is what's required for graduation.
Thank you. Does Passaic Valley have a college prep testing course, or are we planning on having college prep testing courses? I'm assuming that's perhaps like an SAT prep course or something along those lines.
In the past, we've offered SAT prep to sophomores and juniors. I'm not sure. That's usually run by the Education Foundation in the spring, so I'm not sure if that's something that's continuing this year, but we have run an SAT prep course pre-pandemic.
Great, thank you. If a child attends a private school, how might they take the placement test?
They will come into Passaic Valley. If they contact the guidance office at Passaic Valley, Miss Soul, our registrar, will set up a meeting with one of our guidance counselors, and our counselors will go over the same things that we would go over with the sending districts in terms of looking at the different opportunities they have, go over what's in that registration packet, and also plan a date to do the placement test at Pivay.
Excellent, thank you. Due date again for registration. I'm assuming the question is there's no cover letter, and I've seen this once or twice here. no cover letter with a due date. What is the due date again on the cover letter that should have been included there, Ms. Torres?
The overall due date is March 1st.
Okay.
I know some of the districts wanted it back a little bit earlier. If you can reach out to your middle school counselor and they will give exactly what they're looking for in terms of that packet being returned, because I know they each take their own time to organize everything and get it presented back to the high school.
Question, is there really a swimming pool under the Grizz gym? No, Mr. Owens, the swimming pool is actually on the 3rd floor and tickets are $20 for our freshman students. Mr. Benvenuto, you bought one as a freshman, didn't you? I know.
Yeah, I actually bought mine from Mr. Owens.
Nope, no swimming pool here, but we do have a brand spanking new turf field on its way. So we're going to forego the swimming pool for a few more years. All right, so it looks like we've hit the end of messages in our chat. We will hang out for just a few more minutes for those of you who might have some lingering questions. Ms. Torres, I'm going to say good night to you all first, and then I'll let Ms. Torres close us out. Thank you all again for attending, and we look forward to seeing our newest batch of Hornets in the fall. Have a great evening.
Yes, thank you, everyone. It was great to see everyone here. Lots of people have been attending, so thank you. And don't hesitate to reach out to the guidance office for any questions, concerns, or if you just want to meet with the counselor and have a chat, we're here for you.